Let's talk lads talk health.
Let's talk health.
So
lads talk health.
Lads talk health. Hang on. Again, these are snippets, all the little laughs.
Yeah. That's we need them in. Let's talk health. What the fuck did he just say?
So welcome to Lads Talk Health. It's two life coaches that love helping people. We've been on a journey together, both personally, first of all, experiencing all these incredible changes in our lives, from the stuff that we've been learning, then we start implementing, and then the conversations that we have with each other. And then when we started getting introduced to clients, we were like Ant and Dec, you go, I go, and we just bounce off each other. And we were seeing that within just one session, people were completely changing, like a full transformation within that one call. And we just knew that we had something. So we created Lads Talk Health. And we want to turn up and actually discuss things that people don't discuss, things that actually happen in everyone's lives that has a massive impact on their life, their health, their family. And we now can observe it and tackle it from every single angle, from experiences ourselves, from our clients, or just putting ourselves in their shoes just to see what we think it could be like. And I think that the honesty that comes from us is, well, you'll see it, but we come from a place of love, a good place, and all we want to do is serve and help as many people as possible.
Wow, follow that. Right, so yeah, that is bang on, has us hit the nail on the head. Lads Talk Health stems a lot of it from the fact that we absolutely love what we do and specialise in, which is, and has been pretty much for nearly 5 years, has been working with people that in many cases have been told that there's not much else can be done to help them. And we totally know that is never the case. And so yeah, Lads Talk Health came from, as Harry said, many conversations where we're just on the phone, and I'm talking proper conversations as well. And I said this to someone the other day, how many meaningful conversations do you actually have on a weekly basis where you walk away and think, you feel uplifted, you're buzzing just off the fact you've communicated with someone who's listened to what you're saying, they've been present with you. And that's something you hear us talking about a hell of a lot, which is being present with yourself to start with, which, trust me, most of us aren't most of the time. So yeah, Lads Talk Health is a broad spectrum of different health subjects. We worked together as personal trainers many years back. That's where we met, in fact. So we've got we've got a vast amount of fitness knowledge. Harry especially is where I moved on to different things. Harry stayed in that industry, so diet advice, stuff like that as well. We tried to cover everything, but we're going to cover it from a very layman's, normal perspective, and that's a big thing for me. Is there's not many lads I know that, you know, can just, well, I had never had many conversations other than with Harry, with many blokes, where you can just sort of say, fucking hell mate, you're looking amazing today, and you know what, I love you mate, and just the normal, and just do kind things for people in general, selflessly, and living to serve others. That's encompasses for me anyway what we're all about.
I think the other thing is the things that we talk about, the trees, the plants, the universe, all wishy-washy woo-woo stuff that both of us would both agree that we wouldn't even look at it, we wouldn't even entertain that. Like, what are they going on about, little hippies? But that is us now. But it's so simple, like James said, and we make it so everyone can understand it. We put it into a practical sense, so you can now actually think, that's happened to me. And the amount of insights that people get from just our conversations, and I guess slapping the faces, really. It's like we always say, we talk to your soul. We bypass the ego because we're very confident where we're coming from now, because we've been living this life for a number of months. But it's the last few months from us connecting and having conversations every single week where we're growing and growing in many different aspects. But it's the love for helping people, but it's also, when you put it into place, it works. And it's like, oh my God, it's that simple. I think that's the bit that I love, is that as life coaches, all we need to do is just turn up in life. And then when life just comes in front of us, we then take the stories, we take the examples, we take our experiences, and then we just relay that information so other people can understand. And that is then a very simple way of living, but fun, exciting, enjoyable.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more there. And for me, is what's been amazing for me personally, and I think Harry's experienced this as well, is I've learned so many life lessons from the people we've been working with that have been very ill at the time, and the courage, strength, drive, the survival mode that these people go into, and then what comes forward is what again has taught me so much in the last few years about the importance of living. Yeah, as we disclose as these videos go on, we've seen some incredible things, like things that you see on the internet and you go, nah, that can't be true. But we've seen, we've worked with and are currently working with incredible people that are having incredible results with an approach that we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're actually going completely back to basics, and we're falling in love with innocence again, because when you strip things back, and the conversations that I'm now having with people without my ego getting involved, and I'm just being me and letting that come through, and then you just see that light go off in that person that, oh, I can just be me, and they give you back. And you walk away with, I've had it with total strangers lately. An example, me and my son was coming home from the school run. I was literally just telling my son in the car the importance of living in the now all of the time, always being present. We're even at 9 years old, explaining to him, gave him an example where I had him and his friend in the car. Sorry, digress, but another story, but a great example. I was so proud of my son. They was both on their, I get in trouble with my wife now, they was both on their phones, not their, my son hasn't got a phone, he was on my phone having a game on his computer, so his mate. And every time his mate asked my son to look at what he's doing, my son would look, turn away straight away, and just full attention to his friend. And every time my son was asking him, he was just literally down the whole time, like just wouldn't look up. And I could see that deflated my son a little bit, but then in fact, until the next day, when the next moment happened, as I was just explaining to him how proud I was of him, the fact that he gave his friend his full attention, even though I knew my son was into his game, and he didn't get that back. And I asked my son how that felt, and he went, oh, well, it didn't feel that nice, he wouldn't watch me. I said, okay, but how do you feel knowing that you gave your attention to your friend fully? And he said, oh, I feel proud. And I was just, one of the little moments as a dad you take. But anyway, just at that moment, I looked up, and in front of us, I told you about this, in fact I sent you the picture, there was in fact you guys, depending on when this goes out, dates doesn't matter, but a lot of people experienced it. I saw on social media people was putting these pictures up, the sun, the way it was like one of them classic Sunday school Jesus stories where it's coming through the clouds. And I pulled over to get a picture of this with my son, because I thought, look son, look at that, we're living in the now. And as I did, a motorbike pulled into the lay-by we was, and everywhere I walked, this motorbike sort of veered towards me, which was a bit concerning initially. Turns out there were two strangers that had pulled over, two people that were strangers pulled over to also take a picture. So I took a picture for them and saved that picture, and now we've had conversation. Silly example, you might think, but break that down into, if you're aware and your eyes are open to these things all the time, greatness is around us every second of every day. But for 38 years for me, my blinkers were on with the shit that I'd been brainwashed with. Remove your blinkers, look around, and it's great to appreciate nature, it's great to appreciate people, it's great to appreciate everything. And if you live in that state of gratitude, sorry for jabbering on, Hazza, but it's a great way to live, and it's okay to be a bloke and live this way without any stigmas attached.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All of it sounds weird if we're like these things, but if you think of it logically, like that makes you happy. It's like, why wouldn't you do that? And I think that's what we're really understanding now, is that we live in our own suffering, and we now pay attention to the words that people use, every single word, and we can effectively heal people just by making them aware of the language that comes out of their mouth and the limiting beliefs and the ways that they restrict themselves by saying I can't do this and I might do that and I'll try to do this, they're all wishy-washy words. If you make like a statement, I will do this, or even more powerful, saying no to things that you don't want to do. And as soon as we start working with people and get them to understand that, like the results are instant, and they start correcting themselves all the time. And again, we keep getting people to zoom out now as well, is that everything's like nash, nash, nash. So we say be in the now, but all of our decisions we're in a rush. It's like our life, we got a long time to live it. So slow down, like there's no rush on that side of it. But whilst we're slowed down, let's be in the now and then enjoy that moment. And I think there's different perspectives that we can look at life. And I think if we can just slow down and just think, right, life is good. Wow, look how incredible this world is. Look at my family, my friends, and the opportunities that I'm getting now. If you can take on the day with that gratitude, I guarantee your mood will be on a very different level to most people's mood with the climate and the COVID times that we have at the moment. And I think it's simple when done, but it takes awareness for people to realise, wow, they're doing the complete opposite at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, a silly example, if you close your eyes for 3 seconds now, and for 3 seconds all you think about is anger, how do you feel? You resonate with that feeling you've just created through a thought, which isn't a physical thing. It's just something you've just gone, right, I'm going to feel angry. And you can make yourself feel angry. On the flip side of that, I can just quickly go, I think about my beautiful children. I think about my job, my life, whatever. I just feel kind. I feel happy. Whatever it is, you can tell yourself that, and then you'll feel that emotion.
In a second.
In a second. And the reason that, again, it may sound simple, because it is. How often, when you're in a bad place, do you actually stop and think, right, I've accepted. That pissed me off. I've accepted that. But now I'm fine. Just instantly. Whatever it was, now I'm fine. This second, this instant, I'm fine. And then you just build on that now, because now's infinite. And that's the beauty about now. And that's why you can make yourself happy and at peace all the time, is because as soon as you realise, it's just myself allowing myself to feel calm. Simple as that. And feeling calm is one of the things I've been saying to Harry recently, and this goes into meditation, which is a word for a lot of people, myself included. I would have told you was a hippie, nutcase, religious, all the rest of it. Very egotistical, very arrogant perspective on something I never knew about. And it was Harry that got me meditating. Harry's my life coach. We're business partners on more than one venture as well. But you know, I think it's fair to say we play probably coach roles with each other. But I'm proud to say this man is my coach, and I'm proud to say that he has had an impact, making it relevant to what I was just talking about. Actually, once I started meditating, I'm one of these people where, like many other people out there, my mind is going all the time, because I'm always thinking of things I can do. A lot of the time I think, oh, that's positive, and it's, but what happens is I get myself into such a pickle mentally, and into such a non-physical, all these events that have not even happened, I've just manifested in my head, and now I'm dealing with all these things and all the fallouts of all these things that have not even happened. So has it got me into meditation? I tried for 12 weeks pretty much every day to meditate. I got nothing out of it, and then one day, when I was, funny enough, one of the other things me and Hazza work with is natural plant medicine, which we're very proud to be involved with as well. We've working with incredible people that are involved in that as well. One day I'd just come out of the lab, finishing up and feeling absolutely devastated with life at that point. I was so tired. I had all the gear on, the protective gear. I walked into my house and I said, let me try and meditate. And the usual thing happened, as it had been happening every day for 12 weeks, as I laid down and closed my eyes. Why the fuck am I doing this? This ain't working. Oh my God, this is a waste of time. Why does Harry keep telling me to fucking meditate? Then all of a sudden, I could hear my thoughts. I could hear myself saying these things. And it was like, oh, this is new. This is a different experience. Let's go with it. And then I could hear myself saying these things. And this is new. Then the light went off. Ting! I'll only call it what I felt at the time. You're meditating! And it was just, I can only say it probably only went on for 3 or 4 minutes, because it was only a 12-minute video, and it was only probably for the latter few minutes that I actually experienced this. For me, what it was just a total calm. Well, that changed things for me, because every day, pretty much every day since, I mean, I meditate for fun now. I'll, just like him, I've done 4 times today. I'll nick a 5-minute, 10-minute anywhere, because, and I say this especially, I'm going to address, again, because I'm a male, because of my background, I'm going to address what I knew, what I thought I knew in myself. I'm going to address the blokes out there that are just like me. I'm not trying to claim in.
All my mates that think I'm a nutcase.
Yeah, all his mates that dig him out on Facebook. I'm not even gone mad viral with it yet. He has, I'm going to. So I know I'm going to get a backlash, because people think, just like me, if you say you're going to meditate, that you need to be some guru. So listen, all it is for me now, and I'd say, you know, look in the dictionary and define the word mindfulness, which is a nice word which hasn't got a stigma attached to it. Mindfulness. You have a meditative experience. It's a mindfulness experience, and all you're doing is taking time just for a few minutes to fucking shut up and listen to no one else other than yourself, to what's going on inside. And initially, trust me, your thoughts they'll be going a million miles an hour. You'll be told, like we'll tell you, conscious, someone else will be putting videos up of guided meditations that we both do now, which are having an incredible impact on people's lives, both people that are sick, people that are trying to get pregnant. Harry's got a whole resume of different people with different conditions as well, mentally, that we're working with. But point being, is you take time to listen to yourself, to your inner being for a minute, and I promise you, you will come out of that experience, like I said, with a calming effect. That calming feeling. That calming feeling made me a better dad, better husband, better friend, instantly, across the board, just by taking time for myself. So now, I do it every single morning with my 9-year-old son, who is a lunatic. My karma, 100% my karma for how I was as a kid. Lunatic. But since we've been doing the meditation and again, parents, little tip, because I know what you're thinking, when am I ever going to lock my son down, who's into football, into everything other than staying still, for 10 minutes to do a meditation? On the way to school, in the car, seatbelt on, they're locked in, they can't move. It's perfect. I do that every day. And again, I'm seeing the difference in him, and me and my son's relationship are getting better. And that's thanks to this man. So, yeah, over to you, Stanley.
Yeah, the meditation bit as well. I always just say to people, the word meditation is just a word that's been given, but there's so many different meanings to it. But all my mates, if I said to them, look, do you want to come and try a 10-minute experience where you go like in this rave, you create it, and it's just, oh, it's fucking amazing. They're like, yes, definitely. And then I say, oh, do you want to do a meditation? Like, fuck that. It's the same thing. It is exactly the same thing. So the silence, first of all, you've been in the shower, or you're waiting in line or something, and you go, fuck, I need to do this, or I need to do that. That comes to you in the silence. But because you're not still enough, it's normally the things that you have to act on. But the more you start doing it, I always say your answers come in the silence, all of your answers. If you ask a question and you stay still enough and do it a while, your answers will come. They won't be panicky ones this time. It won't be like, I need to do this, I've forgotten to do this. So if you notice now when you get their moments, normally it's when you're in the shower, when you're on your own, you're giving yourself the time, or you go for a run and your mind's just going off in different ones. That's a form of meditation, you taking time for yourself. So if you don't want to quit meditation, just take a time out. Literally just take a time out, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. It will help. And the more you practice on it, the more you can then start going into it thinking, this is the best part of my day. And I say that so confidently now as well. I wish we could meditate for more. And the hours are going up and up, but my life has completely gone in that direction as well. And yeah, my best bit of advice to anyone is to get into meditation. And
100%.
That, without a doubt. And
100%.
And before meditation, I'd worry about saying it because I'd look like the weird one. Now I say it like this: meditation will change your life.
100%, 100%. You could be the roadiest of road dudes. My guy, meditate, my G. Yeah, you need to. Trust me. I don't care who you are, what walk of life you think you're from, how tough you think you are. And I know there's a lot of people now saying, yeah, what's he talking into? There's some people that know exactly who I'm talking to right now. People like how I used to be. Yeah, I've been to prison, I've got a very checkered past. But now, do you know what I am now? Now I am an amazing dad. That's what my life is now, and husband and son and friend and cousin. Like, I am all about love, I'm all about kindness, I'm all about giving, serving other people. Yeah, my life has shot. I gave up because of him, I gave up my job in a pandemic. Good job, good pay. Like, again, I'm the only breadwinner in the house because my wife, I always tell people my wife works way hard than me. She's been a stay-at-home mum since I've got 2 kids now, a 9-year-old beautiful little boy, Leo, 2-year-old little girl, Leah, who I love more than anything in this world. My wife has worked hard taking care of. But anyway, my point being, I gave up everything, and I'm a warrior. I was a warrior. I am now not a warrior. I was a warrior. But yeah, meditating has got me through everything that's going on. And now if I don't meditate, I notice not only do I notice that I've not meditated, this is a great point, a pointer for me to take notice of, is when my wife says, you ain't meditated, have you? So again, get into it. Trust me, it's like Harry said, it's not heebie-jeebie shit. It's literally sitting there with, Harry has a great example you gave actually about going for a run. You've all meditated. Every single one of you has meditated multiple times in your life. It's not what you thought meditation was, but it's them points on a run. It could be someone who enjoys going to the theatre or to the opera, and you sit there and you close your eyes and you're just listening. All of a sudden you're really present in that moment and you come out just for a second, that's what you can class as meditation. It's every time you've taken a second and enjoyed yourself in a quiet moment, and then just come out of it and known that was just a nice moment. That's what it is for me anyway. That's how it feels.
And I think we set up Lads Talk Health because there's so many different angles that we can come from. And I think, me personally, I want people to know about this spirituality stuff, but I can't come from that place because, again, it's so far away from the normal day-to-day. And you think, what's he going on about as another guy? So let me just show you how it just affects my life and my friend's life, my client's life, and how these little changes that has no spiritual word to it, it's just a little change, has a very spiritual meaning to it after. And once I can get you into a tiny bit to experience it, and you see it works, then you start listening to the other stuff that we can go into, which does go down a rabbit hole. It does go down this spiritual path of enlightenment and stuff as well. But I love it. Like, it's completely, every person that we've spoken to now, we've impacted.
100%.
Without a question. And we go into these conversations excited what's going to come at the end of it, because one person comes into that conversation and it's a completely different person that leaves it, and that's just the first session. Our focus then is to help them people, to help their loved ones. That then gets off, and the whole world that lives in this suffering, fear state will change very quickly. And so throughout this time, we want to be introducing you to some teachings, some books that we've read, some experience that we had, some examples of some of the amazing stories that we share from our clients, and kind of tie it all in together. And then bigger than that, then we get guest people on, and we hear their stories and learn from them. And what you'll start seeing on our page is all positivity. That's the only way that we choose to live now. We're in control of everything that happens to us by the words that we say first. And little things on wordplay, even the negative words, there's an opposite word to it, which is positive.
Every time.
Every time. So every negative word that's out there, we just replace it with positive. So never forget. Always remember. And if you can catch yourself and change it, and keep doing that for a month consistently, your whole mood will change. The people around you will change. The conversations will get more interesting, because you're being aware, being present to change it. It's little teachings that we're going to keep throwing in there, but these are the teachings that we could go to every single time. We're like, that's made a huge difference to that conversation, that's changed that bit. And again, it's just going to help more and more people.
And the thing is, this is we come from a complete equal standpoint, and that's what differentiates our life coaching from, you know, it's not counselling, it's not anything that is digging into your past. Guess what? You don't need to do, because most people, like how you're saying, is, and myself included, all of my negative weight that was ever held being a word from a past, was stuff from the past. As soon as it resonates and you realize, and this was a game changer for me, that your past does not define you. Think about that and imagine accepting that, because right now you're just going to take it as words. Me, that hit me like a ton of bricks in the face, in the stomach, in the nuts. As soon as it was, of course it doesn't. I have no ownership of that anymore, because it's not even fucking real. It's gone. I've got this now. I'm not saying that I'm a beautiful person, but my existence is amazing. Right now, I am the only one of me that has ever been and that ever will be. And all of you have that. All of us have that. So we come from a equal, you're broken, let me fix you. No, actually, you're amazing. Let me hear about it. Tell me about you, and let me just ask you a couple questions, because something you've just said, you've realised, you understand how much of an impact you're having on me right now. And when someone knows that that person is really listening to them, what comes out is it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's insightful. And yeah, I mean, if anything you think we've said is you think we're off our fucking nuts, right? Let me tell you this for real. We definitely work with people that have been told that they're dying within weeks, days. And not only have we worked with them, when actually I worked, we've talked and listened.
We've asked them what they want as well, and
their families and their loved ones. People like you. My journey with all this started with someone I loved 5 years ago, who got really sick with cancer, and who's still around today, and who I think was incredibly brave. But we'll go into that another time. But my point is, what we do, we talk to people, and I love this. Growing up as a kid, all I wanted to play for West Ham. He's a gooner, fucking idiot. But on a serious note, and that is all I ever wanted to do, play for West Ham. Now, all I ever wanted to do was what I do now, which is working with people that are supposedly sick, and just being inspired by how amazing these people are, and playing some sort of part often in their healing. And that's the bit that I still say with a buzz when you get a phone call from someone. Oh my God, James, it's gone. Like, I got the all clear. You just think, fucking wow. So that's Lads Talk Health is definitely all about that being real. So even if everything else we've said, you said you can pick holes in. You pick hole in that for me. You can. You pick holes in working with people and loving it. People that are sick and been told that they're dying, and helping these people. And always, every time, making a positive difference to their existence. That's an achievement. If anything else, if my kids think of me when I'm gone, our dad used to help people out, and that for me is I've achieved as a human being, personally.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on the past doesn't define you, because we both speak the same language when we're speaking to our clients, and we're very on sync with each other. But this is the way I describe it: your past doesn't define you. Your past just adds to your story. And I would say, what a good story that you have already to make it here right now. You wouldn't be you without that past. You wouldn't have all these ideas without that past and experiences. So just make that part your story. And within that past, there's a lot of shit things that have happened in your life, which makes your story so much more better to read. Imagine that best-selling book and your life was fucking easy life. I'd put it down after one bit, but because you had the ups and downs, which then I can say to you, you're going to get more of them ups and downs, but just know that that's part of life. And it's like, what did you learn from it? So that makes your story. And then again, I don't care about your past, but what do you learn from it? Let's add more meaning to it. What can you teach your kids from the suffering that you went through to stop them going through what you went through? What can you teach them? As soon as you start then layering it out and add meaning to it, you start realising you can let go of your past. and just move forward in life, and just know that when it comes to you, we just treat it as, oh, that's life. That's cool, that upset me. Cool, move on. That was really happy, and that's the way you turn up. And for me, life is exciting. Every time someone says to me, now what do I do? I'm telling them I love what I do. Like, and I'm not even over exaggerating. That's not even acting. That is generally the way that I turn up every day now. And I have that choice. And I say to everyone else, you have that choice too. You have the choice to do whatever you want. You have the choice to go wherever you want, go anywhere you want, be with anyone you want. You have that choice. We help you get that power back so you can start making them and being okay with your choices.
And if you want things to change, you need to change the way you look at things.
Wayne Dyer. But you're gonna get, I'd say first of all, a number of swear words because we are lads.
Shout you can.
But we are really focusing now on the language we use, the teachings, the readings. Like, we want to inspire you, your kids, their kids, future generations, because it is simple we put in place. I'm going to put a challenge out there as well. We know that we can get a whole family to change within just a space of a few months by just applying some simple, I wouldn't even say applying first, it's understanding these simple truths, which then you apply.
Yeah, 100%. And that's not a big statement. People think that's a big statement. What do you mean you come? It's not a big statement at all, because all of the improvement and all of any change always comes from the person. That's it. It's not, we're not coming in with some Bible of knowledge. It doesn't work like that. That's the beauty of it. All we do is we come into, which everyone does this obliviously, an energy field. Now with families, it's a collective energy field made up of individual little energy fields that are bouncing around within this energy field. But again, this is something you hear a lot of us talk about, a hell of a lot of energy. And again, there's not one of you out there, oh, I'm not religious, I don't believe it. Fine, nor am I, funny enough. But every single one of you out there have at some point made that statement, or I trust in my gut there. What's your gut? Your gut ain't your gut's your spirit, your inner being, your conscience, whatever it is. So my point being, we've all known that you've had them feelings at some point where you can't place it, but you think, oh, thank God, you just know. Thank God I've done that. It's a good job. So anyway, point being, we've all got these energy fields, and in families, like I said, my family included, you got me, my fiery wife's energy, my 9-year-old lunatic son, and my 2-year-old lunatic little girl, and me, the biggest lunatic of the lot. We've got our own energy field that we're bouncing around in all day long. And I was going to say, in a stranger, as an outsider, these are all words, again, that I realise are negative, but someone else who's not within that energy field can pop it at times in a way just for you to make you aware that you're in this energy field. And that's what I think we've done. I'm just thinking of actually a couple that I told you about we're dealing with at the moment. One I spoke to today on the phone, whose wife is ill at the moment, and she's created this energy field where, like, I speak to the husband and I speak to the wife. The wife has not so much now. She's really closed in her energy field, which we do encourage if she was in a positive place, but she's not. And I was speaking to her husband earlier, and this is something we'll do. We will every single time, we'll ask questions that you might go, ooh, that's what you need. That's what you need, because that's what you're not getting.
Yeah, the questions you don't ask yourself.
Yeah. Because
they're too painful to deal with. That fear kicks in. But when you're in a safe space and we ask them questions from a good place, it's only you that chooses not to answer them, because I'm just generally interested from the way our conversations go.
And what can you draw from someone who's asking you something from a good place, other than the good? My intention was pure there. I've asked you that. Why do you think you're here? Who are you? What is your purpose? These are questions that you might think are deep and spiritual. And yes, they fucking are. That's exactly what they are. And you need to know that within yourself. And the people that we work with often need those questions asked, because they've slipped into this energy field, which
it's like they've hidden away from that, and everything else in their life has happened, and they're searching for all these things to make better, but yet The answers are just two. All you have to do is just lift up the lids.
Yeah. Change the frequency, maybe. That's it. Because, you know, you get caught in the negative frequency, and, you know, that same family, that, again, I'll use mine as examples. How many times can people, you know, familiarize themselves with this? You wake up, you're in a bad mood. Don't know why. The miss is in a bad mood. The school runs more manic than ever. Like, and at no point in that setup, even though I'm aware of everything, this is a bad one, I'm playing my part in this, have I gone, pop to that energy field, that bubble, and gone, babe, do you know, I'm really sorry. I woke up in a crap mood this morning, and look, it's probably had an effect on you. She might still go, what are you talking about? You're being a hippie with me. And I say, do you know what, babe, I'm just trying to say that, you know, maybe if we shift things around a bit here, this just doesn't feel good. This energy's not feeling right in the house, and you know, the kids are feeding into it as well. And then, you know, and it's a simple thing. It's a really simple thing to do. But I've carried on playing that role in that morning, and then I've going to work. Driving Leo to school. Someone cuts you up, and you fucking, what's wrong with that? But like, again, it's just all this negative that you create, and these are all examples that they should resonate with people, where you think these things none of that is physical. That is all stuff that you've just let your head go with into a negative, which has then made you feel shit. What is the point of doing that when you could just step back at any point, and because you're aware of it? I think that's the big thing, is being aware. Yeah. And that's presence, isn't it? Basically, it's going into being present.
And I think that's another thing where we ask them questions, but we also make you aware of things that you're not even aware about yourself. And that's, for me, that's what I say. We talk to your soul directly, because we literally would go and call out something that you was oblivious to. One of them is your body language and your energy. Me and James are huge on that. Like, again, we can sense your real mood, not the words we're using, just by the way you energy. You can't see that. So I then pull you up on it. And what's even more powerful now, we have things like Zoom. So not only do I pull you up on it and make an observation to say, when you spoke about your little one, your energy completely lifted. You didn't know it. Then you watch it back, and then you see yourself as an observer looking at yourself thinking, wow, yeah, you're right. Maybe I should talk about my little one more often when everything else is not going my way. That's the power of noticing things about someone that they didn't notice themselves. And again, try it on your loved one. Notice their hair. Remember, we always told, give the girl a compliment if they made their hair. I didn't notice it. The ones who did, I used to get jealous because the girls liked them. Maybe because it's because they gave them notice.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, and that, again, that all goes back to the really important thing, and this is when becoming a life coach, what that taught me, and my God, and how he used to talk to me about is being present. And you're going to hear us talk about that all the time, and meditation all the time, and in the now all the time, because they're simple things that I promise you will change your life for the better instantly. Again, this is from my experience, is having children. For me, it was the greatest thing ever that happened to me, ever. And I know there's loads of parents out there, so this is why I want to address from a parent's perspective. When I realised how non-present I was being half the time, finishing my kids' sentences, just not letting them be present. By me not being present.
At one of our conversations, I know it hit you about 10 minutes attention. I remember saying that one.
Yes.
10 minutes attention a day.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
When I say you talk to someone's soul, when they're left in a thought, because all of a sudden they're like, I didn't have a clue, and it's like, shit, it hurts. That's the suffering. It's because you know deep down, maybe I could have done better. And that's what I love about our conversation. We both do that to each other, and you make...
Yeah, well, look, I mean, listen, Harry hasn't got kids, right? Someone who, and this is something I would have said actually prior to understanding. If Harry a few years back would have approached me about things about kids, I'd say, you ain't got kids. What the fuck do you know about having kids? Again, and that's a typical response, because you do think, well, you've not had my experience. How would you don't even know you fucking kid? But let me tell you.
Can I just stop you just on that one?
Please.
Just with what you said then, which everyone's agreeing with him, how can you say that? We work with people that have cancer. but yet everyone tells them what they should be doing. You should do this, go vegan, don't cancel it.
Yes.
So everyone does it. So
that is powerful. We'll touch on that about the people. That is one thing we both notice is that. I don't know, we'll go straight back to that. But yeah, Harry, because of Harry, I'm a better dad. Harry's 6 years my junior. We still have our... The thing is, we've not changed. There's still times where I probably am a big brotherish role to Harry and coaching from a different perspective. But my point is that this is the whole thing about that equilibrium. If you... How many people in your life have you got like that? You can just say that... Now, I can say whatever I want to that person. They're not going to react. Or if they do, I can even say, oh, have you reacted there? Or is that your ego? And that person realised something and said, oh, I'm glad you've pulled. That surely is that when you have, in fact, I don't want to say negative, where, you know, you don't have them conversations. We all know when we've had them conversations. When you walk away from that conversation just thinking, I just really enjoyed that moment. Like that person. And it's always when two people are present with each other. But actually, I read something interesting. Most people make conversation. Now, if you look at the definition of make conversation, it's something like to fill gaps or to fill the time. That's what most people's convos are about. And I know that's the same for most people out there. Don't bullshit yourself. A lot of the time you're not listening to what people are saying, your kids included. That's where he taught me something massive. Listening to my son, actually, quick, because this is a real good story, actually. So my son was premature by 6 weeks. Emergency cesarean at the end. A lot of things went wrong, and it was a miracle we got here actually. And the surgeon said, "Your boy is going to have a lot of problems with his chest," because apparently we were told at the time. I've not looked into this. I don't know if it's a complete fact, but he said that, you know, the lungs are one of the last things to develop, and where that time had been cut short, and some of the complications throughout the pregnancy, right at the end, through the labour and whatnot, had an effect. Anyway, point being, so Leo was sick for the first 3.5 years. I had business out in Greece. We were living out there. He was sick for many years, and we didn't really understand it. Language barrier didn't help either too much. But anyway, point being, because of all these sicknesses, Leo, we thought, okay, it's terrible, but this is, again, actually, this is quite powerful if I think about it for parents. So we started, because of society, we started sticking our son on the spectrum, because that's all we're told now. We've got all these DDHX, TD fucking Ds that have popped out of the woodwork, which labels a kid, which tells all of a sudden your kids become that. Think about that for a minute. That's your child. Who knows your child better than you? To then put a label on them, which then they're going to tell you they want to put medication inside them, which you then have no idea what's in that fucking medication.
How many people say they're dyslexic? And then their whole life, yeah, I'm dyslexic, so I can't learn as the same as other. That's a limiting belief. That's the power of your words that you put on your kid as a little one.
You're this, you're that. And then you wonder why they end up being this or that. But anyway, so with Leo, his speech was really clearly delayed. So we just thought that things hadn't developed. He was a bit slow in certain areas, whatever it was. Maybe even autistic because of some of the things he did, which we lining his cars up. Listen, parents, if your kids line your cars up methodically, there's nothing wrong with them. Yeah. Most of the time, as far as I know. That's my experience. Don't panic, because we did it. And all of a sudden, is your kid lining their cars up? Yeah, and you find out every fucking kid lines their cars up. But all of a sudden, that was pointing towards autism. Silly little things. And I'm saying it like this now, but at the time, as parents, first-time parents, you feel awful. You feel you failed. You feel, I don't know, my sperm didn't shoot right. You know, like you just start thinking it's me, because you've accepted all of a sudden what someone's told you about your child, which up until that point, it's perfect. Someone's now told you they're not perfect, and you're going with that and blaming yourself. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely. So, turns out with Leo, let's give you an example. Turns out with Leo, he just developed such a bad case of glue ear for so many years that the doctor showed us how, with some headphones, he told us to put these on, me and my wife, and he started talking, and I could barely hear what he was saying. He said, that's what your son's been living with for these 3 years. That's why his speech hasn't developed. And bless him, simple nose spray cleared up his glue ear, so much so that we then went for the next 6 months, me and my missus went through Leo having panic attacks because all of a sudden he could hear everything clearly, and it scared the shit out of the poor little fella. So we'd get calls from the nursery that Leo's having a fit, basically. That's what it's like, convulsing, because someone's hit a tambourine. But anyway, point being, because of Leo's ears, me and my wife naturally got into a habit of understanding his dibby-dob-dab sort of talking and finishing things for him all the time. And that then developed into years where he was catching up, bless him, with his speech, which he really worked hard to as well. I was still in that habit, and this is awful, of where he was taking too long in my terrible, he's taking too long in my head, just Leo, and finishing it for him, and I'm not aware of how he must have felt at that point, when he's really trying to get it out and I'm finishing it off. So anyway, point being is when Hazza hit me with that about, you know, how often do you listen to your children, like just for 10 minutes uninterrupted? So it was horrible because it was like, fuck, not often do I just listen.
I asked that question because I always watch, and when I go out for dinners now, I always see the kid in the pub, for example, daddy, and dad's just like that. Now we're mates. So constantly, the kid goes non-stop back, and kids are resilient, so they can take a no. But all the kid wants, and that's what I noticed, just eye contact. And when they got eye contact, like proper eye contact, the kid was happy and goes off and plays again. Doesn't come back again. So that's where it's like, can we give 10 minutes of our day, because we are so busy with everything that's going on, I've got no time. Can we give 10 minutes just to stare at, not even your kids, your loved one, no phone, no distraction, just 10 minutes attention, and like we were talking about, listening. And you see the power of it, it's incredible. And then you realise how interested in my friends, how interested in my dad that I haven't actually listened to all my life, because he moans at me because he's my dad. Yeah, that's it. That's the truth. Coming back onto his story, is the stuff that come out of your son's mouth was...
Yeah. So he just... so what I did, I started doing that straight away, basically. And then I started, because of what he started coming out with, I started a YouTube channel for him now, where it's, you know, I'll say to him, Leo, what's your thoughts on racism? And then this even referred to fucking Rosa Parks and on the bus. I was like, motherfucker, what? He came out with this perfect description, didn't get the name right, of, Dad, it was in the racism chat. I've all got this on camera as well, I've got this all recorded. He said, what did he say? Oh yeah, he started it by saying, Dad, why is it called history? And I said, what do you mean, son? He went, why is it called history? And it still hadn't dropped, pen hadn't dropped me. And I went, what do you mean, son? He went, well, why isn't it called her story? And I went, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, he said, because there was a lady, a black lady, she got on the bus and she sat down, and she wasn't supposed to sit down in this place, but she sat down and she was brave and she made a big difference, so that should be her story. I was just like, fucking hell. I was like, I'm taking that. But yeah, that's just through on a serious note, just listening to my son, just letting him go. And any time where I normally would have gone, I just don't. I just hold the space. And then, like, it was very emotional initially, because it made me realise instantly how much damage I've done to my boy by not listening. He would have been even more advanced with his talking now, to a level where he is, because he's still with touch, caught up massively, but on a scale of, okay, these kids at this age should be able to say these things. It's still a touch behind. But if I'd have let him, especially the time we went through the stage where he was clearly making an effort, and I was still doing what I was doing, which wasn't helping him at all, probably deflating his efforts in a way. He must have been thinking, well, Dad, why didn't you, makes me feel awful, why didn't you let me finish what I was going to say then? So that was a powerful moment for me, and that came from a non-fucking parent, arsehole over here, who pointed that out. And you know, I think, again, I'm going to be presumptuous, and I'm going to tell you there are a lot of you dads out there that were doing exactly what I was doing, and I still have to catch myself every now and again. Yeah. But at least I'm aware of it now, and I apologise to my son all the time now, son, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to say that again. Because I wasn't being, I didn't even finish the sentence for, or even tells me now, Dad, you're not being present. And I see it like, oh, I'm back in the room.
So I just wanted to jump in as well. Guys, everything we're talking about, we're not perfect at all. Like, we are learning constantly, every day is learning. But what we are doing is changing, and we're being true to our word with them changes as well. But there's still loads of things that keep popping up in our world where we're like, fuck, disappointment kicks in, snap out of it. Right, how can I change that again? So we've created this because we want to just say we're all on the same playing field, and we all can go through life.
And to make ourselves accountable, because that's what this helps with.
Yeah, definitely. And again, we can speak our truth now and actually be okay with doing it, knowing that this now has a platform for everyone else that has all these issues going on, because it is everything in life. Relationships, child development, death. Death alone is... I fucking love talking about death now. Like,
death should be celebrated, and you'll think I'm a nutcase for saying that, but it will change your whole perspective on... It takes away fear. Let me tell you this with a knowing. This is not all there is. I know that. I know that. And I'm not claiming or labelling it as anything other than a knowing. I know for a fact that I've got an energy, and I'm part of an energy which is all around us. It's around everyone, and I genuinely believe inherently we all know this. But they being, unfortunately, this...
You need proof. You've got that now, right?
Yeah,
it's confirmation.
It's confirmation that I know for me that there is nothing, absolutely nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. There really isn't. And just know that every second of every day, I'm fine. I'm fine. Imagine, just put yourself there, because you'll put yourself there and you'll feel it for a second, then you'll go back into your... Keep practicing.
Well, let's use this as an example, just to show you how much we fear death, is that when you hit the age of 50, for most people, it goes downhill from there. And so many people that we work with, they fear from death, and they get really worried about leaving their family and everyone's going to do it. If we all knew, which we do, that we are all going to die, now think about this. If you knew you were going to die, but that's not the end. That's just the beginning. Like, there's another whole world out there, and again, we can share stories from what we've seen and the things that we've experienced in our life. But imagine then if you was told, look, you're going to be born, and then when you grow up, you're going to have this body, and it's going to keep changing. You're going to get into a teenager, and you're going to get really moody, and then you're going to go into adult, and you're going to get fat, or going to get ripped, and then you're going to get old. And then you're going to lose your hair, and you're going to lose your hearing, and then everyone in your family is going to think you're useless, and you're going to be in a chair, and you're not going to know anything, and then you die. And then after that, you're going to go off again. Imagine if you just knew that was the life journey of a human being, and you knew that was normal. Then you could live and enjoy the aging process, because you know that's part of being a human being. But I say that because if you are a grandparent, for example, and now you're worrying about dying because you can leave it all, are you being a grandparent? Because your grandkids don't need a warrior, they want their grandparent, a warrior. So we always like, if you knew that we have these roles, we can let go of the dying, which is scary for us too. But if you can let go of that, knowing that there's excitement coming. But now in that process of being a human being, you can actually just live your life, enjoying every moment with your loved ones and enjoying every experience that you got, and be present. You can imagine that when life speeds up, when we get older, no, it's slowing right down because I'm actually taking the time to enjoy it. And that for me is like being present, because life does pass by when life is the same all the time. We have the same thoughts, and it just becomes a blur, and yet we die. And then when we die, we realise, fucking hell, I could have just let go of all of that, because I just realised that there's so much more here. So I want to share that because it really got me thinking when I heard similar stories. But working with our clients has made us get to these conclusions. Yeah. Because all of a sudden, if they've been told that they've got 2 weeks to live, the question we ask, okay, if you know you've got 2 weeks to live, how would you want the best 2 weeks to finish? And they go and tell you all these things, and like all of a sudden it's like, why haven't I been doing this before? And it's that spiritual awakening. That's what I think spiritual awakening is that such an aha moment when you can just let go of all of it now and just enjoy it. And then people, normally live a lot longer than what they've been told, because they realise that what they've been told is just a word, and we've taken it on as truth.
And something Harry said there, this came from, I can't remember who it came from, but this came from someone, and this is going to be a controversial statement for most of you, but not enough of us live life like we have cancer. Now, that came from someone with cancer. Okay, now think about that, and where does that take you straight away? What's your thought process? Because if it's to a negative, you're in that same unfortunate loop where straight away you hear cancer and it's a negative and it's death and and what we've realized with people that have it, not a thought, people that have it, and in many cases had been, not anymore, is the fact that there's another thought process that you can choose to fucking have as well. You choose to go to a negative, and then everything, if your foundation at that initial point is negative, what do you think you're going to build on? You can't build a positive on a negative, because a negative is always going to be a negative.
Yeah, so if you want to live, you have to do something differently.
That's it.
Which is...
yeah, go right. Don't go left. Go right. What's right telling me? Okay, I accept I have something. Okay, no problem. Okay, what can you control? You can control how you feel about what you've got. You can control what you do next, and you can control, most importantly, what you do right now. Right now, what do you do? And the people that we've worked with that have just stood up and said, I have not got this, I am not this, I am not, and they've made decisions that they've already beaten wherever it is. It's gone.
It becomes them. Like, it is them. That is part of their story. Like, they've just embraced it now, rather than fighting with it and wasting energy. They've taken it on and owned it.
Yeah, and all of them, back to the live life like I've got cancer, they instantly shift everything to all the things they know they should have been doing anyway, but they just start doing it instantly.
Yeah,
and it's not a second thought.
Today.
I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing this. No, I need. And the thing is, they don't realise what I have now realised by witnessing it is their inner being, the true I am. Because now you're in a position where your back's against the wall. A lot of the labels and stuff that you've associated yourself with mean fuck all of a sudden. It's you, just you. And yeah, you've got your loved ones around, which we're going to touch on how damaging they can be with all the best intentions. And it's just you. And all of a sudden, it seems that with the people we've worked with, the inner comes out, that fiver, that fight or flight instant happens, bang, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they just implement them things automatically. But what's interesting is, and even as I'm saying this, what I'm thinking about is how basically all of that stuff is inherent in us. It is from day one. We inherently want to live as a child, as a baby. When you come out, all you want to do is live, and we forget, and that gets taken out of us as we grow, unfortunately, nurtured by...
How many kids do you put in a playground and they hate it? Like, you just see loads of kids like, they love in life. Like, because you put them anywhere and they'll still fucking enjoy it. And that's how we should live. And you should see when we have our conversation, we giggle like little babies. We say things and we know it doesn't matter what we say and what you think. Like, we just do it. Like, that's being kids. But as soon as we get that ego, that imposter, we now have to prove ourselves to others, and they might think I'm stupid. And it's all of it comes back to taking back your power.
Yeah.
And that's the key bit.
And the best bit is you control it. Is knowing once you understand again, because most of us in our lives, and you can pretend that you don't. You can be the most on paper. One thing, again, sickness is not discriminative against anyone. So we've worked with top end people, we've worked in society's eyes, and we've worked with just you're not so in society's eyes fortunate people, okay? And it's the same across the board. That's what's interesting. You could be, we've worked with obviously we're obviously English, Londoners. We've got clients all over the world that we're currently working with, have worked with, are still in contact with, that we've managed to, everything that we've talked about so far is and has happened within these setups with these people. It's happening. It's not like Harry said, we're not coming on here
we're just telling our story.
Yeah,
we're just,
sharing our experience. And that's why for me, it's not for fame, it's not for money. In fact, we, on one of our side businesses, our sole goal is to be able to give our product away completely free of charge. That's all we want to do, and it's something we truly believe in. So that, and on that note, this is where I was saying before about that feels, from a bloke's perspective, that feels amazing to share with you that my dream is to do something where I'm giving it away for free, and it's going to help loads of people, and that's going to make me feel better than ever, like a kid, happy, is because that is a nice way to be. And I know we all know that, but that's back to that childlike thing Harry was referring to, is we don't do that enough. Like, be proud of what you fucking do, especially when you're doing it selflessly. Because if we was all to live selflessly, just imagine if everyone lived in a selfless environment, it would be
what
blissful.
we would call heaven.
And why don't we live like that? Because everyone will claim to be a good person, and inherently I believe you.
Yeah.
But what are your actions? And in fact, are they your actions?
And what about your thoughts? Let's go.
Are they your thoughts?
Are they yours?
Are they your thoughts? Where did they come from? Where did they get planted? Back to the child situation of school and whatnot. You know, it's interesting stuff.
Well, that's Lads Talk Health in a nutshell, and that's an intro to James and myself. And there's going to be plenty more of this as well. We want to do this in every country. I'm learning Portuguese, learning
Farsi again because my wife's Iranian. So yeah.
So we'll be reaching out to more people in the distant future as well. And yeah, we want to use this platform for anyone to reach in with any, I wouldn't even say issues, they're not issues, they're just things to work with. That's part of your story, but we'd like you to feel open enough to share them with us. And our aim is to serve as many people as possible. We're life coaches, but we also do a number of this new concept, which I guess is like a meditation visualization experience, which is so impactful. But again, we'll come on to that soon. We do group coaching, we do public speaking gigs,
which we're going to be doing a lot more of.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more of, but we're now bringing ourselves to the social media platforms to get our story out there more, because it's the other stories that we are inspired by that need to be heard. And as soon as we get them out there, then again the suffering will slowly disappear.
And let's talk health. Health is a broad spectrum, so we're going to cover a lot of stuff. Will come from personal experience, and we're going to touch on some provocative, relevant subjects: child abuse, prison, money being lost in businesses, stuff that has happened. You know, real things that we've experienced as well, and are gonna, in our opinion, come at it from a different perspective, but always from a perspective where it's okay. That's the foundation. That's the starting point. Don't worry. It's all going to be fine. It all is fine. And that is where we start from. So, yeah, I mean, Lads Talk Health is we're going to touch on many different things. And we look forward to learning from you guys as well. Because it's not, that's what we're trying to connect. You know, it's not a closed off bubble energy. For our energy, we're chucking it out in a very positive way. And we know we're going to hit and connect with other people's positive energies. And it's Lads Talk Health is for everybody.
Yeah, come join us on this journey.
Thanks very much. I'll sign off. You switch to Lads Talk Health.